Thanks for staying with us. Let's now take you through the front pages of Nigerian newspapers and return to give you some of the analysis of the stories we will be seeing this morning. The Nation newspaper is our first, and right there we see the advert of the president commissioning some projects in the FCT. Minister Wike promised that it was going to be days and days of project commissioning. He's keeping to his words, and that is what the Nation is showing us right there this morning. And quickly we make our way to the Leadership newspaper to see something else right on in there. And on the Leadership newspaper, again, the same conversation is right there on the Leadership newspaper. And so we'll move quickly to this Nigeria, which is talking about 2027. The battle begins as APC hits ADC. We'll tell you exactly what kind of blow that would be and more. The Daily Independent is where we're going to, in the same conversation right here. ADC coalition will set Nigeria back by decades. This is quoting the presidency. Will that be the case? We'll talk. And the Punch newspaper is where we're seeing our next conversation still around the same issue. 2027 shutdown or showdown. Coalition slams Tinubu as Wike ADC trade blows. Okay. The Daily Trust is where we're guiding you through next. Same conversation. Coalition members move to exit old parties. I wonder what becomes of these old parties. But the Platform Times will tell us probably what that would be. Political search. INEC flooded with 122 party applications. That is a whole lot. All right. The Guardian is where we're going to right about now, and we see right there illustrious or illusion of harmony when politicians unite in power pursued SAN's governance or SAN's governance. Okay, we'll tell you more about what that would be. And finally, we go to the Sporting Live right there. All right, before we get to the Sporting Live, there's the News Direct. And this is something different from what we're seeing thus far. 9 mobiles set to rebound with groundbreaking telecoms partnership. Okay, that's a good one right there. And the Sporting Life, which is what we just talked about, and that is a shocker. Rufai dies at 65 or 61. All right, Veronica Etoma and Ibrahim are right here with me on the table, and we'll be talking more about this. Etoma, the Nation and the Leadership newspaper are showing what is, still taking place in the FCT, the minister commissioning some projects. Good news is still happening in the FCT, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the bleeds of commissionings left, right, and
bleeds, I like that.
It's as if every day we sit down here, we have to talk about one commissioning that's happening in Abuja. I like it. I know a lot of Nigerians like it. And however, Vero would say, are those things the people need?
Well, but the minister, I didn't want to ask you this, but yes, he has thrown this to you now. The minister will always defend it and say, you know what, people need to go through, good roads.
Yeah.
And if development has to get to a certain part of, Abuja, for instance, you need to take infrastructure there. Isn't he right about that?
Of course, he's right. We saw what Lagos State is doing. We talked about that yesterday.
That's right.
And we are still seeing what the FCT minister is doing to ensure that he opens up the FCT so that people can network as much as possible, move around, improve the economy, and all of that. I just want to see the kinds of monies the FCT will be able to generate as a result of all of these developments that we are seeing. I'm hoping to see much more that would improve the lives of the people living in the FCT, perhaps a drop in the cost of living and all of that. If this network of roads will improve the lives of the average person living there, it's fine by me, no problem. I'm only saying, is it affecting the person directly?
Yeah.
Is it improving the person's life, and is it moving the person forward? That's all I'm asking.
And let me still stay with you on this, Verde, because you touched on quite a few issues. If we see on this Nigeria right there, Wike is saying that the Tinubu Center will generate about 650 million naira in 3 weeks. That is a whole lot of money. Will that money then be used to better the lives of the people?
The last time I checked, I am not Wike's PA.
Oh, no, you are conversing for...
Yeah, but if these monies are turned in to improve the lives of the people, that will be good. The essence of all of this that I am talking about is at the heart of whatever infrastructure development we are doing, the people should be at the center of it. Let it affect the average business, small, large, whatever level of business. Let it improve them, farmers, whoever, directly.
That's right, that's right. And Ibrahim, let's go to the Daily Independent right about now. The conversation around coalition. The president says it will set the country back by decades. Are you in line with that?
Well, because of that statement, the opposition themselves are saying that the All Progressives Congress, the ruling party, is jittery. That's why they're making that comment. But if you look at it, you're having a group of people who are coming together. This is a group of people who have moved from one party to another. Let's start with Atiku. Moved from, AC to the PDP. From the PDP, I think at the point it was in ACN, and then now it went back to the PDP. Now we are having
Frankly,
ADC.
Ibrahim, all of them are movers.
No. So I said let's start with Atiku. Talk about Obi, Apuga, as they say it. From there,
Apuga.
Apuga. From there, move to the PDP, then to the Labour Party. Now we are having ADC. Erofa, don't even go there. So these are people that have moved. They are movers.
And
when they come, well, I don't know about shakers. So it is now affecting the trust the Nigerians have for them. Why are they moving? They say, yes, their party is fraught with challenges, they're having crises. So if you can't maintain internal democracy, if you can't resolve the crisis within your own it's not even a macrocosm of Nigeria, but just that little few people,
just
in comparison to, in comparison to the larger macrocosm of the country. And you can't manage the crisis within the party. How then do you want to manage the crisis where we have diversity, at play when it comes to politics of things in the country?
Well, I keep wondering, Etoma, let's get quickly to the Punch newspaper this morning, which is also talking a little bit around the same matters. Do you see this coalition standing?
Wow, that is a very big question. And borrowing from her, the last time I checked, I was not a political analyst. we just have to watch and see. The coalition has quite some names, but as Ibrahim said, these are people that have moved from one place to another. But when you want to also think about it, which politician in Nigeria has not moved from one place to another?
That's the point.
At the end of the day, time will tell. Let's see how it goes. What bothers me about the whole thing is the trading of words. This person is hitting this person, the other one is giving you an uppercut and all that. I think it's early in the day for that kind of stuff to happen. We see things like that like 3 to 4 months to election, but now it's happening so early.
Things are changing.
Absolutely. Veronica, the Daily Trust, the Blueprint are all agog with this, conversation around the coalition. But I want to take you to the Platform Times, which brought in a little bit of a different angle to the conversation. A political search. INEC have their hands full, sitting to go through the process of registering 122 political parties. Why do we need all of that?
Well, everybody wants to exercise their rights according to the Constitution. You have a right to associate as much as possible.
Well,
of course, so maybe they have something to offer Nigerians that Nigerians need to perhaps pay attention to, and that is why they say, okay, let's register, and perhaps Nigerians will begin to pay attention to us, that we are different from these other persons who have been in power and had their time to offer something to Nigerians but couldn't. And so we are here saying we want to offer something differently. We may not coalesce as much as others are doing, but we want to do it on our own terms, with our own ideology. And so INEC should give us the platform, should, enroll us. They have a right, so let them do it. So it is now left to INEC to see how it can sift through these persons. What are the structures they have? I think that INEC needs to put in stringent rules regarding these registrations, because often the time what happens is that these people negotiate for something and then they just fizzle into the thin air. They are registered and nothing happens anymore. We are the ones doing these things to ourselves as Nigerians. Why is it all about our selfish interest and not about the interest of the nation? If you want to come out as a political party, be there. Yeah. Be visible. Have something that you are pushing for Nigerians to hang on to. Nigerians are seeking as much alternatives as they can have. We cannot keep holding on to these persons whom have been in power and could not do anything with their time. They may coalesce, they may want to achieve whatever it is in their right, but what are the other options that Nigerians have? Are we even learning lessons with the changing dynamics of our political atmosphere as we speak? Are we willing to be active when the time comes? These are the lessons Nigerians need to start learning.
And Ibrahim, let me still stay with you on this, because borrowing from other climes, we see probably just 3 political parties or even 2. Is this good for our democracy, this multiplicity of political parties?
Yeah,
it is nomenclature.
It is within their rights. You know, freedom of association is guaranteed in the Constitution for people to come together and say, yes, let's come together and fight, you know, this cause of taking our country from whatever means, I mean, whatever situation it is, to another situation. But one thing is, we now need the moral suasion is what supersedes. Is it morally sound when we have different parties, you know, gunning for the same political seat? So if you now quickly look at, for instance, there was something I was going to say about Atiku, Obi coming together. If you look at Atiku, he's planning to be he's ambitious to become the president of the country. Obi has the same goal. El-Rufai at one point in time said the same thing. Rotimi Amechi has also said the same thing. So when you're now having these people, so how do they, you know, who is agreeing to what? Are they saying that let's come together and you know, what I'm saying is that during primaries, we'll say, okay, whoever emerges will now support the person against the incumbent party. But you know how it works. Well, 2023, funny enough, you saw what happened.
Funny enough, we have all these problems so close to elections, but before elections, somehow they solve it. My take on this 122 political parties is that these guys are creating bargaining chips for political negotiations. We've seen it happen so many times. My question is, why is INEC still entertaining that?
Well, they have the right.
Yeah, I know they have the right, but make it stringent. For people
whatever INEC would do,
for people to register political parties, because when you do register, that political party should be a political party, not something in a briefcase.
But you know that it is within the Constitution. INEC will not act outside of the grand norm, which is the 1999 Constitution. So whatever guidelines they have, they can't put a cap to it.
So I guess that when we are looking at making adjustments to our Constitution, that is part of what we should be looking at, such that it will become stringent.
Yes.
Then we will now start hearing Nigerians talk about, oh, we are creating rules for certain persons in the interest of some other persons as against the others. But are we actually trying to improve our democracy? That's the question.
Listen, are you aware that the Labour Party has now given Peter Obi 48 hours ultimatum to either declare whether he is a member of the Labour Party or a member of the ADC?
Now, there are 2 factions. There are 2 factions. One faction is supporting him,
and the other
is saying you have 48 hours.
And according to the court, the other one is the one that is recognized by the Supreme Court.
There is the internal public.
These are politicians.
Let's move forward.
You know, but before we get to the sporting level, which is where we're headed to now, you know, Ibrahim mentioned Atiku Abubakar and a few other men there who want to be the president. For Atiku Abubakar, Etoma, let me use your eyeballs now to ask this question.
Okay.
Do you think it is late in the day for him?
Oh boy, I'm happy that my eyeballs are covered by glasses. That's number 1.
So you will
have 4. Abraham Lincoln in the United States of America started contesting for political positions from the lowest, from the council. And he failed all through until he contested for presidency. Buhari contested 4 times before he got it. So if Atiku is contesting 28 times, Go ahead.
It was not nice.
Don't forget that he was the vice president of the country. So
Yes, I know.
He was very close to the Aso Rock.
No,
He
he
still
was.
has the right.
He could have just
But he
moved
still
to
has
the
the
seat.
right.
He still has the right.
There was a reason why I specifically asked him to about that, and he met that goal.
He has a right because we haven't put an age limit.
There's no age
testing.
limit to it.
Absolutely.
So he can go ahead.
You can.
And that's how we make our way finally to the sporting life this morning. Ladies and gentlemen, we've paid glowing tribute to our own hero who is going to be with the Lord now at the age of 16. What?
Wow.
61.
Is age
61.
of 61.
Is that football age for someone who
I
has
said 25 earlier, now, my God, at 61.
Right.
You know, well, we thank God for his life and what he was able to do. And I'm seeing here, Shehu Sani is paying, tribute to him and several other Nigerians as well. But quickly, gentlemen and lady, what do we want to see happen in our soccer space? Quickly.
I want to see us win a whole lot of matches as we used to do. Let it go back. Let's start really winning again and bring trophies to Nigeria.
And Veronica, as one who is quite adept or interested in football and soccer, how do we achieve what Etoma just said?
The NFF, the body, needs to do more. We have, look at one of the stories there, 2024 WAFCON, CAF keep Falcons in smelling rooms with dirty towels in Morocco. Now, they would, why would they do that to the Nigeria? It's because we haven't been pulling our weight. They haven't been seeing you take care of your own as much as you should. That is why we'll see these kinds of things. If your charity begins at home and if you're not taking care of your own, then others will treat you anyhow. The NFF have not been doing a lot regarding the welfare of footballers, be it old, young, the new, and everything. Yeah. They need to do much more. Commitment, that's what we need from the NFF and every other agency under the sports ministry that needs to ensure that our sports move from where it is now to the next level.
Ibrahim, I'm assuming that's also your position as well?
Yeah, absolutely. But one thing I also want to quickly mention is the fact that the football, global football is mourning because I think in Spain, Diogo, or what's his name? Diogo Jota. He died in a car accident with his brother. So, well, we'll say our condolences, we offer our condolences to them, and we want the better things to be happening in our sporting life.
Liverpool has decided to immortalize his jersey number and remember.
Which we see them, and some other clubs too.
Indeed.